I'm Jordan Erisman. I am 26 years old. I grew up in Virginia Beach. I've been living in Blacksburg for, I think it's about 7 years now. Very outdoorsy prior to my injury, extremely athletic. I was going caving with Megan, my girlfriend, as well as 2 other friends. It was out on the border of West Virginia. It was a little bit more in a remote area. We ended up coming up across a rock facade. While we were traversing it, some ground came from below me. I remember specifically my right foot taking a step, feeling just weightlessness.
And I heard kind of like a little bit of a scuffle. So I turned back, and as I turned back, you could see him, just the ground completely gave way, and he was scrambling to find anything to hold on to.
I tumbled about 90 feet. I ended up kind of waking up at the bottom of the mountain. Luckily, my friends called out to me, and I was able to call back out to them. They found me, and I think within about an hour and a half, they managed to get me medevac to Roanoke. We had a caseworker that came in and described the options that we had. We figured that Sheltering Arms was just positioned better geographically for me and for my family and my friends, and that to me was a very critical component. When I got to Sheltering Arms, there was this sort of taking a lot of weight off my shoulders. I felt like I was going into good hands, and that there was this very dedicated staff who knew what they were doing. I had this entire network that was doing all this for me, so I could just focus on recovering. That was great, and everyone was super friendly and informative.
SAI in general has endless opportunities. I mean, the therapy that a patient receives here is like nowhere else. The nurses and the staff up here have a lot of education that's particular to spinal cord injuries. There's the technology, there's the equipment, there's the staff. They're all fabulous. And if you have the motivation, and which Jordan absolutely did, I mean, from the day he showed up, we knew he was going to do well, that he was going to take advantage of everything that he could. Then you can just go so far here.
I was very happy to be incrementally increasing that sort of physical exercise. The Locomat, the treadmill where you're kind of up in a harness, that was my first experience being suspended and simulating walking. We did some of the FES bike pretty frequently. That was, I think, the first time I actually had exercised. It was a great way for me to get moving. By the time I got out of inpatient therapy, I had no issues whatsoever with my blood pressure. It pretty much brought back my ability to go about daily life, be a lot more mobile than I was before. And so when I got to outpatient, I got to do a lot of practice in the exoskeleton, which was a ton of fun. And I was like, well, I really want to become independent as much as possible. So I want you guys to teach me all of the craziest skills that can keep me, as independent as possible.
We started out a lot of upper body strengthening and core strengthening to basically aid in using his wheelchair. And then from there, we worked on wheelchair skills. So going over curbs, getting into the wheelchair, holding wheelies. A big thing that we talked about was how he could walk his dog. So basically, he can still continue to live an active lifestyle.
Because of my injury, I knew that there's this level of expertise that I think is required in order for me to work out effectively now, given my situation. So I felt like PowerEx was kind of that perfect blend of professional explanation of why I need to be doing these sorts of exercises and how that differs from traditional exercise.
The goal of the PowerEx program is to transition our clients back into the community fitness settings with the knowledge and confidence of how to exercise on their own post-injury. Demonstrated by the PowerEx outcome measures, Jordan increased his upper body and core strength, his cardiorespiratory fitness, and his confidence with exercising safely and effectively again. During his time in PowerEx, he completed an 8K cycling race, adaptive tennis with Sportable, and began utilizing his gym at Virginia Tech.
I learned about Sportable really early on in my stay over at Sheltering Arms. The first one I did was road running. I jumped into swimming for a little bit, and I plan to do that even more this coming year when it opens up. I started doing tennis, which has been a lot of fun. It's such a change of pace because in my daily life it's just, a lot of kind of rolling around at like a small, slow speed. But then you go to tennis where everything's just fast paced and you have these tennis balls flying at you just as fast as you would when you're normally playing tennis. And so that quick change of pace has been really exciting. I'm still doing a lot of what I was doing before, even just on a daily life, right? I'm not in a bed just laying there kind of like, wasting away. I'm out and about, I'm going out with friends, and that's one huge thing for me, is that it hasn't slowed me down from doing that. But also being able to do sport and whatnot is huge for me, and being able to exercise is huge for me, and that's just not something I ever imagined before, and so now I guess there's this level of hope and resiliency that I wasn't expecting to kind of come out of me after my injury, but it did. Sheltering Arms just has a good step-by-step process that you can follow, which includes doing the inpatient therapy, and then going to outpatient therapy, and then going into PowerEx, where there was that same relationship where they could reach back out to individuals previously and get that information.
It's not just a single facility, and it's not just a single resource. It's a whole network, and it's a whole system that is there to support anybody that needs their help.
I think if anybody can receive that sort of experience the way I did, that they would really understand that they're in a safe place, and they're in a place where they are going to come out of it leagues beyond where they were when they first went in.